Ricky Flicks, it is time for the main event. The breaking news that happened on the night we are recording. Brad Pitt will star in Quentin Tarantino's final film, The Movie Critic, 10th and final. This movie is expected to release in 2025, next year. There was rumors upon rumors who was going to be starring in this movie. 1970s movie critic, all right? Is it going to be Paul Walter Hauser? Is it going to be a young up-and-comer, right, teaming with Tarantino for his final film? No. He goes to Old Reliable. He gets to a frequent collaborator, the lead in Inglourious Bastards, Best Supporting Actor winner for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Ricky Flicks, your reactions to your boy teaming up with Quentin Tarantino.
I think this is like you were saying with the Argyle comment when you were saying how how could we not have guessed that? Like here it's like, how could we not have at least entertained the idea that Brad Pitt would be the guy here? I think, I remember when we heard about the movie critic, we're like, oh, it's going to be about this guy, not a good looking dude, movie critic in the 70s in like a porn mag type of thing going on. Like you're thinking like an uglier type of dude. Maybe a little overweight or something.
Incel, maybe,
Yeah, like you're not thinking Brad Pitt. You're thinking, some of our plump boys, maybe. Like love them to death. That's why there are plump boys. But you're thinking Paul Walter Hauser, Jesse Plemons, Paul Dano. You're thinking these type of actors who've played like weird characters before to play another weird character. But no, Tarantino, like again, something that we should have freaking thought of is that he goes back to his guys. He does. He brings back people for sure. He's like, oh, hey, John Travolta, let's bring your career back. Or, hey, Jamie Foxx, you're a big star. Yeah, you've won an Oscar 10 years ago, but let me try to get you another one here. I know he didn't, but just saying. But, again, something with this casting, it's like a freaking crap. How did I not freaking think of that? Even though it's just like, hey, we know the role, we know what the usual pick is. It's Quentin Tarantino. He's literally the most unique filmmaker out there. He's gonna go to his guys.
How I imagine this happened, Ricky Flicks, is that Quentin Tarantino woke up one morning recently, and he had been considering a young up-and-comer, maybe a less sexy type of star to lead this movie. And then he picked up his razor a couple times across his face, and then he looked at the mirror, pointed at it as if he was Cliff Booth, and he said, "You're Quentin effing Tarantino, right? And don't you ever forget it." And what does he decide to do? I'm going to the movie star of all movie stars, right? I'm the rock star director from the 90s. I'm getting the rock star actor from the 90s. We came up together. We're going out together. Brad Pitt will continue to do stuff, but you know what I mean. He just said, what am I doing here? I'm Quentin Tarantino. I am a movie star director. What am I doing if I don't have Brad Pitt at the lead of this film? As the lead of this film. This makes total sense. You're right. It's a total hammer over the head moment. Don't be a dummy, right? Play the hits here. It's not a sexy role. You're playing a movie critic, reportedly in a porno mag. It doesn't really scream, I need sexiness on screen. All right? Unless he's in the porno mag, right? But he's a critic in the porno mag. This makes total sense just because it's Quentin freaking Tarantino. He's not having Paul Walter Hauser leading his final film. He is, right, a new plump boy and member of the TDI family. But if we're getting Brad Pitt in a Tarantino movie, we can do no wrong there. All right? Play the hits, baby. I don't care if he's the best-looking movie critic of all time. Give it to us, Ricky. It feels inevitable. It felt inevitable, right? And it was just under our nose the entire time. Third film between these two.
Third film. And God, it's just like, it's his final film, right? He's gonna pick one of his guys for his final film, someone that's reliable, but a freaking star. Again, Quentin Tarantino, he's all about Hollywood. He wants to make it a star-studded event. He's not gonna pick an up-and-comer, or he's not gonna pick a plump boy. He's gonna pick a freaking sexy-ass guy.
Legend.
Actor, legend. Actor, legend, right? He's gonna pick the best of the best if he can. And he can. So bring back Brad Pitt. It makes total sense. Now, to the role. Obviously, you mentioned how it's a weird role. So Brad Pitt probably won't look sexy in this role. He probably would look something like Bullet Train a little bit with glasses, maybe a little after 5 o'clock shadow. I think he'll probably ripping darts. ripping bogues nonstop on these movie sets. Like, I'm pretty excited to see Brad Pitt in this different element. Kind of a mix of a Cliff Booth and a Bullet Train, perhaps, maybe, and with a comedic twist. With that comedic twist, like I'm really excited to see the vision for this final movie, and specifically with this character.
Me too. And I'm excited to see the supporting cast because if we have Brad Pitt coming back for a third film, and this is Tarantino's final film, I wouldn't be surprised if we get like Samuel L. Jackson in a supporting role. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, you're bringing back Brad Pitt. You got to bring back like the most frequent collaborator in Tarantino's filmography, right? You got to have that Ricky Flex. I'm excited for this one. You know, I feel like it's just, you're right. They're gonna. I don't even know. It's not really in Tarantino's bag to make Brad Pitt look ugly. I think he's just gonna be Brad Pitt, to be honest. You know.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be a smaller supporting cast. I doubt it. It's Tarantino, right? And even he'll get even the biggest stars in the smallest roles. And that's why I just can't wait for the announcements. When we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we were like, oh, Al Pacino's in this cast, but we're like, how big of a role is Al Pacino gonna have? That's what we're gonna get in this movie. Right? We're pulling out all the stops. And I don't think we can rule out Brad Pitt winning a second Oscar under Quentin Tarantino. And that was like almost felt like a career achievement award for a Brad Pitt. But this one, it seems like he's going to be the lead, first of all, right? It could be a heavier role. We know Hollywood loves Hollywood. So I can't rule out that Brad Pitt won't be back on, right? On the Oscar steps there, accepting an Oscar, right? It feels like Brad Pitt, he's getting stronger, right? It feels like he had almost like a boost, a shot of adrenaline from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he's been kind of carrying through this period where he was in obviously Ad Astra the same year, but then he does like Bullet Train, an action movie. It's like, what the hell? And then he's like, I'm just gonna keep going here. I'm going off this action movie that's not really made for me. Bullet Train, I guess it was a crowd pleasing favorite, you know, but it's like I can do Quentin Tarantino's final film. All the bullets left in the chamber. Unleash them. Unleash them.
At least an Oscar nom here for sure. Depends on the movie year and like who's there as in to win. I won't say that, but you're right. Brad Pitt has rode this momentum, and he continues to ride it. No doubt, assuming this is Tarantino's last film, he's gonna whip up a script that will be at least nominated for original screenplay, if not win it. And obviously, your lead actor and probably supporting too will get nominated too. And I think if we just throw out other guys besides Samuel L. Jackson, who says De Niro doesn't come back after the De Niro seance right now? Like
if he had Pacino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
exactly.
And he hasn't frequent I'm not frequent, but collaborator, bring him back like 25 plus years since Jackie Brown, bring back De Niro.
Yeah, do that. Or hey, you know what? Christoph Waltz is in the mix again. Like again, it'll be his third time, right? You could do that. You could do a Harvey Keitel, like back to his first full feature film directing. Bring him back to be in this or something like that. Michael Madsen, is going to be in it at some point. Again, like I'm pumped for this. Now this kind of like this starts it where it's like, you know what? This is just Tarantino. Now we can get into these like conspiracy theories and like, like our fan castings that we love to do here on the Checkup.
You know what? If this was a different director and they were taking on a movie critic in the late 1970s, right? They wouldn't cast Robert De Niro, right? Because he's in a lot of these films that are being reviewed. But it's Quentin Tarantino, and he likes to do a wink, wink to the audience. It would be like very Quentin Tarantino if you had De Niro in a scene or two. I feel like only he could pull that off, though, right? He's Quentin freaking Tarantino.